Today we're looking at the Millenium, and today we're gonna be looking at some events happening as always. The first one is gonna be a war, and it's gonna be here in the Balkans, as we're gonna be seeing Croatia declaring war on Bosnia and Herzegovina. Uh, Croatia has some speaking Croatia, right? Bosnia has some Croatian speaking lands in their country, and Croatia wants them by force, of course. So we see that Croatia is gonna start pushing into Bosnia and Herzegovina, mostly focusing on the north, but also going a little bit in the south right here. And we see that Bosnia, they are like, well, not collapsing, but they are like very in a very bad situation. Although we do see that Bosnia is gonna almost push out these they're almost gonna push out these Croatians right here, almost not fully, and they're also gonna be well, invading back here in the north too. Then we see Slovenia is gonna be joining the war on this side of Bosnia and Herzegovina because they in this timeline uh well Slovenia doesn't really like Croatia and yeah, they just want some land. So we see that they start pushing into Croatia as they take this small peninsula right here, and they push out a little bit into the city of Split. But we do see that Croatia is gonna be pushing a little here in Slovenia too, as they're gonna be taking this land, and they are also gonna be pushing quite a lot into Bosnia and Herzegovina. Now we see that Slovenia is gonna take the entire coast of what of Croatia, and they're gonna be pushing in from the outside, I guess. So we see that many people are encircled here, as this is closed up, and s- a lot of Croatian soldiers, like 50% of their army, are now locked up here, and they are all killed. And we see them also being pushed now back to the border. But we do see that Croatia is gonna be pushing back here into the split area, and there is and yeah, the war now goes into a big stalemate, and we now see a peace treaty happening. The peace treaty of San Marino is now put into place, as we see that Slovenia is gonna be taking this small peninsula right here. Bosnia is gonna be gaining some land right here, and Dubrovnik gains its independence. Very interesting here. We are now gonna be moving to Morocco and Western Sahara. Like, what did you expect? Obviously, Morocco is gonna be invading Western Sahara. I don't even think you could put it like backwards. Western Sahara is gonna be invading Morocco, but whatever. And we also see that Mauritania is gonna be joining this war, obviously on the side of Western Sahara, because they just like Western Sahara. And we are gonna be seeing that Morocco is gonna be push. We are gonna be seeing that Morocco is gonna start pushing here on the coast. No, on the coast of Western Sahara, as this is where most of the valuable lands are. and they are just gonna be taking like they're gonna be invading all the way to like here, and we and this goes into a pretty long stalemate as we see Morocco now just taking a little bit of land right here. Now it goes into a huge stalemate, like not that much is happening, like some of these borders like change a little, and we eventually see that these both of these sides go and sit down on a peace treaty. In the Treaty of Dakar, we see that these borders are now established. We are now going to be seeing a massive event taking place, and that is gonna be a war taking place, and it's gonna be between NATO and the CSTO Aggression Alliance and CO. This is after wait, this is after when this is after when accident accidentally, definitely accidentally, weapons were being put or like shipped through here into Kaliningrad. They have like an agreement, CSTO and NATO, or like Poland, Lithuania, that they can get that they can ship food from Belarus into Kaliningrad through Poland, Lithuania. But this is now broken as they have been getting weapons to from Lithuania, and this obviously like defeats the purpose because they still need to use the sea to get weapons to Kaliningrad. So we are seeing a war happen because no, the NATO does not want like this to happen. We are gonna be seeing that first, not that big of a brush. We are gonna be seeing that the port city of Sochi, which is like right here, is gonna be taken by Georgian and Turkish forces, and they're gonna be slowly moving up. But there's the Caucasus, so they can't get that like close. And we also see a naval landing being done here in Dagestan, and it's gonna be connected, like, yeah, it's gonna be connected with Azerbaijan, and it's gonna be connected with Azerbaijan and Georgia, as Dagestan is gonna be taken away. But that is not the case on other fronts, as for example, here on the Western Front, on the Ukrainian one, we are seeing that Ukraine is getting absolutely beaten up by the Russian forces. And yeah, we see that all of this area here is captured by whatever, by like Russian forces. But here, Kaliningrad is almost instantly taken away by NATO, and also they are now pushing into Belarus very quickly. As we see a rebellion taking place, this is not only the military, this is also the like a democratic, pro-democratic Belarus rebellions. Uh, yeah. We are now gonna be seeing a new challenger joining the game, and it's gonna be Serbia. And we all knew that Serbia is gonna join the war. And this obviously escalates into Albania joining the war because they have beef. And yeah, Kosovo is just like absolutely ran through both of the countries, just try to get through Kosovo as fast as possible, so the other guy doesn't take it before them themselves. So that is split up, and we are gonna be seeing some fighting. We are gonna be seeing some fighting over here in Podgorica, and it's gonna and Albania is actually going to win this. Uh, we meanwhile see here in Russia that these forces are still being beaten up quite badly, but the capital Kiev, right here, is gonna be actually liberated. Hold on. It's gonna be sieged by the Russians, but the NATO forces are gonna come, in time, and they're gonna push them back to this front right here, where we see that the Belarusians, or like the Belarusian militia, are gonna be pushing like quite a lot into Belarus. Belarus is now in complete chaos and collapse. And as Serbia joins the war, we obviously also see that Cuba is gonna join the war right here, and also Vietnam is gonna join the war, which is on the other side of the earth, but they are still gonna join the war. We see that the USA is gonna start. Uh, we see that the USA is gonna make a naval landing on this island right here. They're gonna take it. Also, these other two islands, and they are gonna make a landing right here. And they also will start rolling to Cuba, as they are now gonna be pushed all the way to this very small portion, as they are all evacuated to a very, very secret place, and eventually Cuba is wiped off of the map. Here we see that Hungarian forces are now finally going to be going here into Serbia, and they're going to take most of Republica's, all of Republika Srpska. They are going to take the rest of Vojvodina and Republika Srpska. But Belgrade is super, super like reinforced, and they cannot get through, even getting pushed back. And they're also gonna be getting pushed back here in Vojvodina now. Going back here, we see that naval landing is actually gonna take place in Rostov-na-Don. And this is a very massive event, as most of the army that is being taken from to be put on this front line right here is from Rostov-na-Don. Naval landing is done, and the entire city is taken, and we see that the Russian forces are now being invaded from the back, as this is now set up. They are almost encircled, but not yet, as there are many forces right here, and some of them are even going through here, but that is quickly stopped when when their CX is taken away. Over here, we see that, oh no, over here, we see that sea access to the Black Sea, and now Russia doesn't have. What did I just say? Russia doesn't have sea access anymore. I, I was speaking like Yoda, bro, man. Well, we see that this is finally encircled, and this is taken back as they start pushing back into Ukrainian land. And this is pretty bad for Russia. We are also seeing that Rostov-na-Donu is now being even more reinforced, as we are now seeing that these two fronts are going to be connected, and we see that this is going to be absolutely being steamrolled through. Here in Uzbekistan, or the Uzbekistani or the Stani front, we see that this very, very fertile land, I forgot the name of it, is going to be taken away, which surrenders Tajikistan. I think this is the first surrendered nation, and eventually also surrenders Kyrgyzstan. But it is not all jolly for for Uzbekistan on this front, as their puppet state is gonna now be pushed all the way to this small like blob right here. But we do see that Uzbekistan is gonna start pushing now into Kazakhstan, as they're gonna take the second biggest city. I feel like it's somewhere here. I know there's a super big city like right here in Kazakhstan, as Uzbekistan now takes it, which like absolutely crashes the Kazakhstani economy. And I don't know why Russia is still fighting. They're like losing by quite a big margin. Here in Norway is a new front opened up right here, as Norway takes the city of Murmansk and they encircle the rest of the Kola Peninsula. Eventually, the Kola soldiers they surrender, and yeah, this is happening. While this is happening, we see that Finland is gonna join the war, obviously to gain lost lands in Karelia and other parts of Finland, as they are gonna be pushing mostly here in Karelia. Like they are letting NATO troops go through, but like they claim it as their land, and we see that also here is gonna be taken back, and we see that Saint Petersburg is now being sieged. Uh, Saint Petersburg is now being sieged, and yeah, it's that's like very very good for the Russian economy, as Finland keeps taking even more land right here, and they even surrender, or not surrender, but like most of Karelia, and they start pushing even more into it as they take all of Karelia. Now going to Serbia, we see that finally Serbia is gonna be capitulated, as they have definitely overstayed their visit here in their Third World War. Yeah, we are now gonna be moving here, where Uzbekistan and all other NATO and everything else forces are gonna be flooding in as they take back, as they take black the puppet state, and they start even pushing into Kazakhstan now, and they are gonna be and they are gonna be making a campaign to surround the Caspian Sea, which is very very successful. They are now also surround the Aral Sea, and this is now just one massive front, as we will now also see that the that this uh, that this Dagestan front gonna be now is now gonna be uh joined up with this other Ukraine, I guess, Rostov-na-Donu front. Moving back here to the Karelia front, we see that Karelia is now gonna be taken away, and yeah, this is again pretty big for NATO and everyone else. And we now finally see that St. Petersburg is gonna be taken, which is a massive hit to the Russian economy. And it's just really bad for Russia, as we start seeing that they're gonna be linking up with Estonia, the Finnish forces. But we eventually do see that Russia is gonna be pushing back into Karelia. It's gonna be pushing back into Karelia, and also now Kola, and they will take back Kola from Norway. I think I'm gonna be ending the video now, so I hope you liked it. Like the video, comment, subscribe, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Bye.